Frances is Great Smoky Mountains Association's Creative Services Director. She's the editor of Smokies Life magazine, and she oversees marketing for the association. Because many of her 6-person team already worked remotely for 7 days a week, her department was already operating virtually before COVID-19 came on the scene. They used Dropbox, Slack, and other tools to stay in touch. So in many ways, she and her team helped the rest of GSMA's staff to move more quickly to becoming effective remote workers. When the park closure was imminent, Frances dreamed up Smokies Live as a way to funnel her team's many ideas for sharing interpretive messaging and products virtually to help the park. And so, Frances, thank you so much for being here today. And I don't know if folks know, but I used to work for Friends of Great Smoky Mountains National Park for 16 years. And so I worked for for GSMA's sister organization, and both partners help the park. And there is something that I want to clarify this morning, which is that Frances does not know when Great Smoky Mountains National Park is going to reopen. She does not have that information, and she does not speak for the park, but she can talk about the exciting programs that GSMA, as we call them, has developed over the last few weeks. And so, Frances, take it away.
Thank you so much, Holly. I've been looking forward to this, and I've really enjoyed hearing my colleagues talk about their various industries and businesses, because we're all in this together and we can all learn from each other's perspectives. So I just really have enjoyed both of your presentations, Elise and Jonathan. One thing I'd like to do right off the bat is to share what we've been calling our identity video. My staff is made up of graphic designers, editors, writers, photographers, and we have a spectacular videographer named Valerie Polk, who some of you may know of. And she produced this a little bit, I'd say, before the holidays last year. And I'd just like to show you all this video because it's kind of more fun to watch a video showing all the things that GSMA does. And then I'll talk a little bit more about those. Yeah. So Holly, I'll let you start that.
We are one of the National Park Service's oldest and most enduring partnerships. We support science and research, cultural history and interpretation, education and outreach. We represent our park partner in visitor center bookstores, working inside our park and in our communities. We are storytellers and keepers of history, artists, and award winners. We seek stories from the past yet to be told, and strive to include new voices in our future. We believe in curiosity, discovery, and exploration, and in observing and appreciating our surroundings. We bring people together to experience the richness of our landscapes and of our history. We are a collection of members from all over this nation who share a love of place, its nature, and its history, and believe strongly enough to support it with our dollars. Our membership includes businesses that are committed to supporting our park and our mission. We connect today to yesterday and preserve today for tomorrow. We are Great Smoky Mountains Association, and we are able to support our national park partner because we are supported by our members and our board leadership, business and community leaders who help guide our organization. And we can be even more with you.
Thanks, Holly. Basically, we all know that we'll protect whatever we love. And so at Great Smoky Mountains Association, I think what we try to do is help people stay connected by telling stories, both people and businesses, and so that they can stay connected to the park that they love. And I sort of see GSMA's mission to interpret our park as two sides of the same coin, if you will. And one of those sides is like a practical economic side where we create and sell and distribute educational materials and products online at smokiesinformation.org and in our park visitor center bookstores when we can be open. And this generates the revenue that we use to help preserve the park in many of the ways that you saw in that video just now. But there's also this other side of us that's not the practical economic side. It's more of the long range community building side. And I love that part of GSMA because we are bringing people and businesses into our circle, and we're building members and partnerships and telling the stories of the park's cultural and natural history. And that's helping people to build those longer term connections with the park. And that's, to me, what we're able to do right now. I mean, we basically needed to close our stores and even our online store. For a while, our online store remained open, and we were doing that teamwork that Jonathan was talking about. But for everyone's safety, we did close our online store almost a month ago now, and we hope we'll open it up soon. But right now, we can focus on that long-range community building side that we do so well. And so I loved how both Elise and Jonathan were talking about the importance of the transparency and communication in all of this that we're dealing with. And back in January, I hired a new publications associate who is like a mini me. His name is Aaron Searcy, and he's an editor just like I'm an editor, and we love working with Aaron. And he got all of our creative team onto Slack. And we found that to be such a useful tool for working together because we already worked a lot remotely. Like most of us are not in the office at GSMA 5 days a week. We only have one person that generally was there every day, and the rest of us were there some of the time, but a lot of our office time was in our home spaces. So being on Slack, we really got a lot of solidification of our team efficiency. And then when COVID-19 came along, we kind of kept pushing the rest of our staff that hadn't been doing Slack to get on there with us. And now most of them are. And so that's helped us a lot with being more efficient. And so that's that transparency and communication, which applies externally to your clients, but also internally. But a month ago, we could see that the park was getting ready to close. We knew that that was coming down the pike. And the week before that, we had just been trying to just react to everything. We weren't able to be very proactive when all of this change was happening. We were just like, every day we would try to figure out what's the priority and how do we focus ourselves now. And all of my team, they're so creative. So they're all having all these ideas coming over Slack at me about, let's do this online, let's do that online. We can share the messages this way. And I was like, that's wonderful. And on Friday night, I stepped back and I was like, I just wanted to crash. I was so tired. But I started watching a nature program with my husband. And then I actually got an email that came in on my phone from the Knoxville News. And I really like getting those little messages. And when that hit me, and I was also watching this nature program, I don't know, all of a sudden it congealed. And I was like, we need to do an online virtual magazine that emulates our Smokies Life, which is our beloved magazine that we publish twice a year for our members. And so Smokies Live was kind of born as this virtual offshoot of one of our big storytelling tools, which is Smokies Life magazine. Smokies Live, if you want to show that, Holly, on the website, and take your time, I'll just keep talking, but she's going to show you how you get to Smokies Live. Our website is smokiesinformation.org, and basically we've just decided to put a lot of articles, shorter than what would be in the magazine, but a lot of really neat wildlife and wildflower videos or kids activities, cultural history moments. And especially for Earth Day, we've had ways to identify biodiversity near your home or in your own backyard. So this is our website, and you can see the Smokies Live button up there on the left. And Holly can scroll down through just some of the different things that we've just been posting. I think there's more than maybe 40 articles on here that we've done over the past month. And this is just basically a communal cross-partner and cross-park effort to interpret the park for people while they're at home. It's kept readers entertained and transported to the outdoors for, over a month now. And this is a great post that we're looking at right here from the power duo that many of you may know of, George Ellison and Elizabeth Ellison. George is the co-author of Back and Beyond, a Horace Kephart biography, which won the Thomas Wolfe Memorial Literary Award this year. I edited that book, and it was a joy to work with him. And his wife is a renowned painter in Bryson City, Elizabeth Ellison. So every week they send a new little science, animal-related story that's really cool, and she illustrates those. We also work with Discover Life in America, which is another one of the park's important partners, like Friends of the Smokies. And Discover Life in America's Director of Science and Research, Will Kuhn, has been writing stories for us every week. Don McGowan is a photographer that Holly may know from Friends of the Smokies, and he's been sending a weekly image and writing about that. And he's kind of a teacher and philosopher of photography. And, we have a Steve Kemp writer in residence who was supposed to be in our park right now, and she can't be because of COVID. So we have the writer not in residence that's writing for us every week, Sue Wasserman. Our stories are pushed out to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and we have email blasts that are going out once and sometimes twice a week. And, Jonathan talked a lot about the marketing success of these various endeavors to our audiences. And I have a marketing team that has all the stats. We used Smokies Live to promote products back when our stores, when our online store was open. And it was really a great success. So we've learned a lot through this time period, even though it's been stressful in many ways. I think that we've developed some tools that we had always wanted to work on and just hadn't gotten the chance to really do yet. So I think we're going to have a much stronger online presence at this point than we ever had before. And something that's really important that we just did yesterday in honor of Earth Day, and of course this is also National Parks Week, we're re-releasing what we're calling the Missing Issues of Smokies Life magazine. And there's like about 4 and maybe a few more issues that we have yet to discover that are missing, but basically you can't find them anywhere anymore. They're not in print. And so we had the time during this to work out getting those stories recreated in an online capacity. And now we've re-released the missing issues of Smokies Life online at no charge for our readers. And Holly is showing the page there, which I think you're going to smokiesinformation.org, and then it's Smokies Life Missing Issues is the website address. And thank you. And so these are really fun that you can just put them on full screen and read the magazines that are no longer able to be found anywhere unless you happen to run into them in an obscure bookstore or something. So we're really excited about that for yesterday, that we got to put those out. And then Holly also wanted me to mention that there's a really cool endeavor that's partner-wide called Smokies at Home. And it's Smokies with 3 E's. And you might have heard something about this in the news. It was a collaborative effort between all of our park partners. And Smokies at Home provides a way for students of all ages who are at home to connect with the educational resources of the park while it's closed. It's a digital learning space powered by the park's resource education branch and its educational partners, which Friends of the Smokies guided the process of developing the branding and the website, which we're seeing now. And GSMA, our team, assisted with the video editing. So Valerie, who did that video you saw earlier, is helping that part of it. and National Park Service and Tremont and DLIA, Discover Life in America, are gathering the learning materials and the video content. So the 3 E's, as I think you just saw them go by, but the Explore offers opportunities for students to get outside on their own in the neighborhood or in their backyard and learn about nature-related topics from experts. And then the Entertain part brings a creative perspective to learning in the Smokies with music and other fun presentations. And the Escape allows a moment of reflection and a chance for quiet observation of the natural world. Smokies at Home is an extension of the Parks as Classroom program. And I think more content is going to be made available over time. And I believe this effort will be continued even after the current closures are over. So parents and students can check back to that website later. And that's kind of what I wanted to go over. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks so much, Frances. So one question that I had when I originally reached out to Laurel Rimatori, the executive director of GSMA, about having someone from GSMA come on today, and thank you so much for doing that and agreeing to do that. One question that I had is whether you all have still been shipping your interpretive educational products during this time.
Well, so we were doing that up until about 3.5 weeks ago, and we went ahead and closed off our online store, which meant that our warehouse folks then didn't have to go in and do that shipping. They were working in separate teams that Jonathan referred to, but we still just wanted to abide by the stay-at-home order completely. Now that everything is being discussed about opening back up, we are also discussing when we will open up that online element, and that will probably happen before our actual stores do. And I would imagine that looks like we might do that around May 1st, but as you said before, I'm not going to say for absolute sure because everything changes daily, as we know, and sometimes you get up and there's something new that you need to pay attention to in the decision-making process. So we hope that the online store will be open again soon. And you'll know it from Smokies Live because as soon as it opens, we'll start pushing out products on there again. And we do that in a fun way where we show people, videos of kids working puzzles and all kinds of really neat ways that we can promote our products and also be educating our members and the readership. So we hope to open again soon. And thanks for asking that.
Sure. And then Jonathan Ball had a question. And JV's question is, in light of the need for social distancing, even within the park, is GSMA going to have a role in appropriate messaging for park visitors? And if so, can area businesses help in sharing that information when you all get that ready, if that's a role you all are going to play?
I think that's a really great question, Jonathan. Thank you. And I do feel that we will have a role in that because GSMA is often involved with messaging and helping the park get its messages out to the public. We will probably be working really closely with the park when the visitor centers reopen. Our bookstores are inside those. And so there has to be that joint effort to collaboratively do that in a really safe way. So right now, our retail director is on a team that is looking at how to do that in the best and safest way and looking at products that we might have in different ways that we will be changing the store infrastructure so that we can best accommodate visitors. And it'll probably take into account many of the things that Elise mentioned about limiting people and where they stand and that type of thing. But yes, what I would love is if anyone on this call, Jonathan, you or anyone else, if you're interested in helping to be reciprocal partners in social media efforts, that's something that we're working on right now and developing more with my marketing team that I'm helping to lead. And so we would love to be able to get messages from you out and have you do the same. So feel free to get in touch with us about that. We would love that.
Great. Right. Thank you. And all of our panelists are unmuted now. So if you have any final thoughts to share, something that seems to me to have run through this theme that has run through the webinar today has been the importance of open and honest communication. And thank you all very much for talking about how you have done that with your employees and your coworkers and your leadership and your customer bases as well. So thank you. Any final thoughts?
I'll second what Jana just said. Thanks for putting this together, Holly.
Thank
For
you.
it consistently and keep going. That was good. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. It's been my great pleasure to be the moderator today, and thank you all for everything you do as an important part of the Sevierville Chamber of Commerce. So thank you. Thanks to everybody.
Thanks for having us.
All right. And we'll do another one of these next Thursday at 10:30. And the title of that one is Local Focus, Recovering Together. So stay tuned for more information about that. All right. Bye-bye.